What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I'm going to break down what's going on with NIO stock and what you should be watching for going forward. I'm also going to talk about what's going on with the data affecting the markets as I talk about SPY, Tesla, and the QQQ. I'm going to break down what the market's likely going to do and what's very likely to happen to NIO going into tomorrow as I talk about some levels and other big things. Before I break anything down about all this information, though, let me just mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NEO community as a whole. And finally, don't forget about the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks with a $100 cash reward. The offer ends in just 8 days, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. NEO is down 1.65% for the day, a little bit red in the after hours as well, but overall it's not that bad. But the question is, what's going on with the market? What's going on with the NEO? So Jerome Powell was speaking in the morning, and when Powell spoke, the market ended up seeing some downside, right? That's just normal, right? Powell says things about the banking system. He also said that there's going to likely be 2 more rate hikes if the economy remains strong, because the Fed knows they have to cause some pain. But other than that, most of what he said was pretty vague and nothing too major, in my opinion. And this time the market did sell off a bit when he was speaking, but then the market ended up recovering as time went on, and SPY, Tesla, and the QQQ all closed in the green, but NEO closed just a little bit in the red. It was down only 1.65%, but nothing too serious. Now, looking at the data, just to be clear, initial jobless claims came out today, and they ended up causing the market just shows some more signs of volatility. You can see them right over here. But then after that, for tomorrow, when we have some more data coming out, we have Bostic from the Fed giving a speech. And when Bostic speaks, the market tends to slow down. However, despite that, we also have the PMI report coming out. We have the PMI data coming out. It's going to be coming out 15 minutes after the market opens. So expect more volatility during then, and that's going to affect the first move. And then later on, we have Mester speaking. This will have a big effect on the market as well. Maybe not a significant one, but at least somewhat of an effect. And other than that, I did see some news about NEO, but it was all very, very minor. The biggest thing making the headlines for NEO would be what Abu Dhabi did, and that was investing almost $1 billion into the company. Besides that, NEO's price price ratio is weakening a little bit. Barclays is giving NEO an equal weight rating, saying that NEO is likely going to perform very similar to that of the market. NEO also has a tendency of being green about 53% of the time on Fridays, and also NEO tends to do better during the fourth hour of the trading day. June tends to be a decent month for NEO. It's only green like 47% of the time. July tends to be stronger as NEO is green about 50% of the time. And looking at the overall short interest, we're still continuing to see this drop. It's only at about 10.7 million shares shorted as of 2 days ago. And NEO still has decent volume. The last time I checked it, actually had a very low volume today. Sorry about that, guys. Only 28 million. It was decent yesterday and before, but today it was very low. So it is starting to show signs of slowing down, but it needs another catalyst before we start to see better price action. So even though NEO is showing some signs of slowing, if it gets a big catalyst going into like tomorrow or maybe even for next week, things can change big time. NEO is about a little over a week away from getting its next deliveries report, and that's going to cause more volatility. But until then, things make it a little bit boring for the stock. Now, as for SPY, the biggest level the market makers are going to be looking at is going to be this 436 level on the call side. For the put side, it's very similar. Looking at the open interest, I would say 436 is once again where max pain happens to be. But it's very likely that because there are so many puts expiring, over 700 plus thousand of them versus just over 300,000 calls with the 2.16 put to call ratio, the market makers will likely try to hold the market above 436, if not pump it even higher. It's got to be one of those two. I don't see the market like crashing tomorrow or making a big move to the downside. I think that's unlikely. And technicals and SPY are looking a little bit better, so this could have an effect on NEO. SPY has heavy resistance in the 436s. There's also a bullish divergence that formed today. If you look at the 1 hour time frame, you can see it's been developing right here. We're starting to get a bounce as a result of it. If this thing manages to break and hold above, if it can manage to continue to hold above the hourly 50 EMA, and we break above 437.2 tomorrow, if that happens, it's likely going to squeeze and get closer to 440. If it fails to do so, then we're just going to be seeing lots of choppy price action. I'm leaning more in the direction of this thing continuing to push, and I think it's going to try to squeeze, but then again, I have to watch for confirmation first just to be safe. but there's a good chance that that's going to happen. For Tesla, this is currently above 265, which is a good sign. However, it needs to hold this going into tomorrow and continue to pump. Now, the bears are going to talk about this head and shoulders formation on Tesla. It's a possibility. If Tesla keeps going, it could help the market pump more. Tesla has this imbalance at 275, so as long as it holds above 265, there's a good chance it's going to eventually make it there. So we're just going to have to wait and see on that, but it does look a little bit more bullish since it's holding up quite nicely. Finally, for the QQQ, this is continuing to break out very similar to Tesla. It reached this imbalance right over here, very interesting. And now the next important level is going to be it getting closer to about, let me just bring up the levels. I know I hid them from you guys. Sorry about that. But 368 basically is going to be the next resistance. If it breaks that, we're going to be watching 370. If it breaks down, watch 365, 364.45, and then 363. I don't see it dropping too hard. I think the odds favor it holding these levels and maybe trying to push for 370. I'm leaning more in the direction of the market holding up or getting a big push. I think this may help NIO close green tomorrow, but that's also going to depend on the news. NIO has a potential bullish divergence developing right here, so there's a good chance it may try to get a bounce, but we have to watch the 1 hour for confirmation. NIO is sandwiched between the 1 hour 50 and 200 EMA. If NIO breaks below 8.8 and continues to hold below it, it's going to sink to the mid 8s. If NIO tries to break out, it's going to be testing the 50 EMA at 9.15. If NIO breaks this, it's going to go flying to the mid 9s, in my opinion, or get very close to that. 9.2 and then potentially like 9.5. For now, it's stuck in the middle, so we're going to see what happens. I think there's a good chance it's going to test around like the low 9s tomorrow because of the market potentially pumping. But besides that, I don't think it's going to be that volatile. I think NIO is getting tighter and tighter, and it's going to likely remain like this for an extended period of time. And the reason I think that is because there aren't any major catalysts for NIO for quite a while, and I think the next time it happens is going to be during NIO's deliveries report, and it's going to happen in just a couple of days, maybe like within like 9 days from now, it should be coming out. So that's going to be very huge. NIO gave us some very, very optimistic, guidance. We're really hoping we get some good numbers. And if NIO meets expectations and gives us over 10,000 deliveries for June, this can help the share price start to improve big time. If NIO fails on us and does not do well, man, it's not going to be good. We're going to likely see NIO's share price sink. However, NIO did tell us that July in particular is going to be good for them because of the ES6 potentially getting a lot more deliveries. 10,000 plus from just the ES6 alone should bring their deliveries well over 10,000 for everything overall. So I'm just hoping for more improvement. And until then, guys, thank you all so much for listening. Get ready for tomorrow. I am leaning more in the direction of NIO pushing to $9, but we need confirmation based off the EMAs. And finally, I think NIO is going to get tighter, but there is a chance the market may try to uptrend given the options chain. The odds favor that, so make sure you watch both support and resistance, but I'm leaning more in that direction. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the final video of the trading days for the week. Thank you, NIO to the moon, as the long term is still incredibly bright, and peace out.